The Packers defense has been a major disappointment through the first 5 weeks. They rank 16th in EPA per play allowed, so it's not like they've been terrible. But for Green Bay to reach its potential this season, the defense was going to have to pick up for some of the offensive deficiencies. This season, the Packers have had a complete inability to cover crossing routes. They're getting beat for 30-yard chunks with what's essentially the Madden 19 playbook. On deep crossers, drags, and over routes, they've given up 17 completions on 19 attempts for 271 yards and 2 touchdowns. On this play, the Giants are running an over with a post corner. The Packers are playing cover 3, so Darnell Savage has the deep middle. What he should do here is cut the over and let Jair Alexander take the deep post. Eric Stokes is left defending this deep crossing route with outside leverage. The linebackers bite on play action, they don't recover enough depth, and the protection just needs to hold up long enough for the route to develop. This next play is just a dig route versus quarters coverage, and if both of these receivers release vertically, quarters is basically just off man with zone underneath. So Darnell Savage is technically responsible for this dig route, but Devondre Campbell gets too much width. This is a common theme with the Packers defense. The underneath zone coverage defenders are just way off in their spacing. Right here, they get beat with a pretty simple play action boot concept. When Devondre Campbell sees this designed rollout and the flat route developing underneath, he needs to anticipate the over route coming behind him and get depth. On this play, they let a drag route go free. You can see Devondre Campbell actually point to Quay Walker, and on the broadcast, you can hear him calling out to switch off this route. You see these sorts of communication issues a lot in the Packers defense, and it's fair to project some improvement since Quay Walker's a rookie, but when you see this many busted coverages with this good of personnel, I put most of the blame on the defensive coordinator. The Vikings beat the Packers a couple times running a concept called spear. This first time, Darnell Savage gets caught up in the traffic and gives up a play. And then on this next one, there's another miscommunication. One player thinks they're passing off the route, and Justin Jefferson ends up completely wide open, and then terrible tackling around the goal line. Miscommunications like this just should not be happening on a defense with this many veterans. I know Eric Stokes is in his second year, but Adrian Amos has been one of the best safeties in the league for almost a decade. And he's probably called out whether he's in lock or banjo coverage at the goal line 1,000 times at this point. So it's not new things that the Packers are getting beat with. I think the Packers defense will be fine because Rashawn Gary is playing at a defensive player of the year level. Kenny Clark's having a really good season. Jair Alexander looks to be pretty much fully back. And Eric Stokes was on a good development track last season, but his level of play has kind of dropped off a little bit. Nothing that Joe Barry has shown me up to this point says that he's the guy to lead this defense, but midseason coordinator changes don't have a great track record, so it's hard for me to advocate for that for a contending team. I think by the end of the season, the Packers will be around a top 10 defense, but I was expecting this to be a top 5 or top 3 unit, and so now there's a lot more pressure on the offense to pick up some of the slack.